Piyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha. Okay, so now about the okay, any questions?
No, I'm supposed to remind you
Remind you of what?
how to practice it for half an hour, 1 hour.
Oh, okay. Say the morning practice that we have been doing, the morning practice, this if you do it by yourself, it may take you like on the 1.5 hours. It may take you 1.5 hours if you do it by yourself. Or in some cases it can be even less. Maybe it'll take you like 1 hour. Okay, if you have time, then you can do the whole morning practice. But if you say you have other commitments, many other sadhanas to do and so forth, then what I would suggest is that and that too, one thing, if what you're doing becomes too much, and that you cannot manage, if this is a situation coming to you, then you must meet with a very standard teacher and seek his or her advice. You getting it? But one thing that I'd like to tell you is that the commitments that are accepted pertaining to the highest yoga tantra, unless that guru give you some negotiation or whatever, otherwise, generally speaking, no compromise for the sadhanas to be recited as a part of the highest yoga tantra, the commitments. This is one thing. And the next part is the commitment sadhanas, there are ways and means by which we can put them into the same group, same families. For example, the 7 puja. In many of the practices, the 7 puja comes repeatedly. So you can just put them all together in one. That suffices doing what otherwise you're doing for all of the practices. Maybe 3 times, 4 times like this, you can do it one. So there are ways and means by which to make them a place. But I would say that if it becomes too overwhelming, and that you don't get time actually for your practice, for your meditation, and reading these things is one thing. This is good, it helps you, it brings about, it contributes to the transformation of mind, but the actual practice, actual sitting and actually meditating, that will make a huge difference. But of course, for that, in order to have this practice very effective, you need the help of the learning, extensive learning, studies, and reflection. Okay. So the point is that, say the commitment is one part. Other than that, you can somehow manage. For this, now what we've been doing in the mornings, many of these things are what we have been doing already. Those things no need to repeat. You can just what you've been doing from the past, and if something what you've been doing in the morning, if there is repetition, you can delete those things, right? so that it becomes shorter and you will get time for your meditation. Okay, and now if you have solid like say 30 minutes to 40 minutes, if you have no practice thus far, then you can do, and you have time like 1.5 hours a day, then you can do what we have been doing in the mornings. You do it full. Whereas if you have say 30 to 40 minutes, then what you would do is turn to page 2. Page 2, the first stanza, second stanza, third stanza, the fourth, fifth. Recite these stanzas. Recite these stanzas. And while you recite these stanzas, we have to think of the meanings as well. If the meanings are not too clear, say if you find it difficult to get teachers to explain these things, feel free to write to me. Feel free to write to me. Or at times there are many of the retreats which we did in more detail, like 10 days. In 10 days we could cover a lot, which includes explanation of each of these stanzas done there. So these are all available from bodhiwisdom.org. BODHI, Bodhi Wisdom, no space. BODHI WISDOM, bodhiwisdom.org. From there, you can download the Bodhicitta retreats. Particularly, I would suggest Bodhicitta retreat in Jambi, Indonesia, Jambi. The one which we did in Indonesia, Jambi.
This year?
No, last year. This year is Malaysia. This year is Malaysia. What I'm asking you, I may recommend you the one which we did in Jambi, Indonesia. Everything is there. Everything is there in this. There are so many materials available there. Okay, Indonesia, Jambi. You can visit that and say in there, all these stanzas are explained, right? Okay. Then you can, we go to page 7. Page 7. Ye Dharma Mantra. This is very important. Ye Dharma Mantra, page 7. Again, we have to know the meaning. I think I already explained the meaning of this mantra here in this retreat. We have to know the meaning. As we recite the mantra, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava, you can recite it with tune. Even without tune is also fine. It's just plain. You read it like Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava, Hetum Desham Dadakato, Yavata Desham Jaya Nirodha, Evam Vadi Ma Shamanai Soha. Okay, as we recite this, just if you can bring the meanings in your mind. Okay, and then you can also recite the English version. All phenomena arise from causes, the causes of Tathagata, the cessation causes as well as Shabbat grace here. And then the next part, this is very important. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. And if you want to say this in Tibetan, well and good. If not, at least say this in English or in Hebrew. You know, for in fact for the Israelis, if you recite in Hebrew, that will be more powerful, because this language, it is your mother tongue, so the meanings are very easily reflected in your mind. That will be even more effective. Hebrew provide is a good translation. Okay, so this one is very important, and of course the same thing when you recite this, you have to reflect on meanings. Okay, then I'll say this one, the page 10, praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. Okay, if possible, this book you try to slowly. Okay, you try to get the most updated version, most recent version. Updated version is available, and if you find it difficult, you can contact Leorala, right? So I'll make sure that Leorala gets the most updated version. most updated version, because it's constantly being updated, constantly being edited. Some mistakes here, there, they are being edited, so you will get the better version. Okay, so with the better version, we see that there are some slight changes here and there happening. Okay, so page 10, praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. You can read this, and you read this, you invoke the blessings of the Buddha Shakyamuni, and of course thinking about the meanings. Then Heart Sutra. Heart Sutra, it is good if you can say this every day. Just make it like Heart Sutra. This is the essence, this is the greatest share of the teachings of the Buddha Shakyamuni for us. Heart Sutra. Heart Sutra, which is on page 15. Page 15, Heart Sutra. Page 15. Okay. And then during your free days, when you're free, when you're walking, when you are traveling, you can recite the Heart Sutra mantra. Right? You recite it as many times as possible when you're free. Okay. Then 8 verses mind training. Again, you can recite this 8 verses mind training. Page 19. Page 19. 8 verses of mind training. Along with page 19, 20, 21. This stanza. Okay. Now, if you have time, then you recite page 22, which is the King of Prayers, 7 puja. If you have time. If you don't have time, don't worry. If you have time, you recite all these things, page 22, 23, 24, 25. If you have no time, if you feel constrained, then in place of this, you can just recite stanza 12 of page 25. Stanza 12 of page 25. That is the summary of the whole 7 puja. Page 25, stanza 12. This is a summary of the 7 puja. You can just say this. As you recite this, make sure that your mind is actually thinking of the prostrations, paying homage meaning prostrations, then making offerings, and the confessing the false negativities, rejoicing the virtues, requesting the Buddha's services to stay with us and give teachings, and delegating merits. So, and this stanza 12, page 25, this suffices doing the whole 7 limb puja, the long version. Okay, then mantala. If you've got time, you can recite do the mantala. If not, the two sets of the requests. The 2 sets of page 26. Page 26, the 2 sets of requests. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that the Dharma practice on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that flaws are seen in the light of the exalted wisdom. And then second set, becoming frustrated with the ignorance that grasps into existence. Please bless me with the general renunciation, seeing all aspects from Sarva specialist process. This is the renunciation. Number 2 is the Bodhicitta. Number 3 is special emptiness. And number 4 is the union of bliss and emptiness. Page 26, the 2 sets of the request. This is very important. This will remind us of the real Dharma, right? Okay. Then 28, the foundation of all good qualities. 28. 28, this is extremely important. It's extremely important, right? Say this. Okay. Then the Vajra Moon practice. After this, then the Vajra Moon practice. Generating the mind of consummate yoga. This Vajra Moon practice, Bodhicitta practice that we've been doing. Okay, so this, see if you have time, then do how we do it in the mornings. If you don't have time, what you do is make sure that at least you have these 4 points. Shamatha practice, renunciation, bodhicitta, visual emptiness. These 4 things are there. That's a part of the Vajra Moon practice. Right? So the first, for the shamatha, if you have time, you do it like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and if you want to do more, you can do more, up to you. But if you don't have time, you can do like 21 cycles. 21 cycles of the breathing meditation. And then for the renunciation, you do the 4 seals. If you have time, give more time to think on the 4 seals. If you don't not much time, at least recite the 4 lines. At least recite 4 lines. When you recite 4 lines, think of the meanings. Think of the meanings and recite the 4 lines. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are suffering nature. Everything's the nature, emptiness, selflessness. Transcending soul is absolute peace. Right? And then switch to the Bodhicitta. If you have time, you can say do the, of the 2 methods, we learn only the second method. You can do this method and then they make the commitment in the end, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. You do this and then transform it into a moon disk at your heart. And then I think of emptiness. Think of emptiness, meditate on emptiness. How to meditate on emptiness, this I will share with you. Think of emptiness and then change it into Vajra. And then share the set of Vajra moon with all your all sentient beings. And then invoke and then you take the Bodhisattva vow. If you have time, then you stand up to make prostration, all what we have been doing, do that. If you have not time, just sit, do everything sitting, right? And then take the said verse. If you have time, you can say both the stanzas, first stanza and the next 2 stanzas. If you have no time, then you can do it on the basis of the first stanza. I take refuge in 3 jewels. I confess negativities individually. I rejoice in virtues all the pains. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. You say this 3 times, and then imagine all the Buddha's Bodhisattvas, they are sending the Vajra moon, full-fledged, like rain shower, to bless the one day which is in the heart, to bless the one day which is mother or father, every sentient being. Yeah? Okay. So once that is done, and then you can end with the dedication. Dedication. For the dedication, what we have is here is, okay, let's see. What we have here the Vajra and moon practice, then after the blessing received, if you have time, then you can, this one, where is this? That in the future lifetimes that you are not separate from this. Page 35, the last stanza, which reads, throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the 2 precious Bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. You will say this wholeheartedly 3 times. Okay, then we go to the dedication. And for the dedication, let's say, dedication, page 43. Page 43, dedication. So you can say all the stanzas, or you can pick up. You can pick up one of the stanzas at a time, or 2 stanzas at a time, right? And then you can also pick up the stanzas from the below, from the end of the book. From the end of the book, page 308. When you have more time, then you can read the page 306, final Lama prayer. That is the morning, because the morning time of the dedication is very long, you may not get time. So you can say, for example, the thing that would be okay, page 309. Page 309, the second stanza. This is something which is very powerful. Very powerful. Second stanza, which says, may I in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect way in the 2 stages. This we have at the end of the morning session. Right? Anyway, the point is that you make familiar with these stanzas, and of these stanzas, in the end, you can dedicate your practice with one of the stanzas, whichever is more, which you feel is more powerful and effective. Okay, so this is what if you have like 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Now, if you have only about like say 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. Now what you do is that you directly do the refuge in Bodhicitta. I go for refuge in Buddha, I go for refuge and enlightened to the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, directly to this. And then you recite Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava, right, the mantra. And after this mantra, then you recite the Heart Sutra mantra, Tiyatom Gade Gade Para Gade Para Sangade Bodhisvaha. Okay, and then you can do page 25. Page 25. The stanza 12 for the Seven Puja, just one stanza. Say the stanza, right? If you have just 20 minutes, say the stanza.
Which stanza?
Page 25, stanza 12. In lieu of the Seven Puja. You may not recite all the Seven Puja, just recite stanza 12, right? Okay. Then you can switch to the. Then you can recite on page 28, the foundation of all good qualities. This is very important. Foundation of all good qualities, this is very important. Okay. Page 28. Page 28. Page 28, foundation of all good qualities. This will help you implant the seed of the complete practice, complete path. Page 28, 29, 30. 31, all these, this whole text, the foundation of all good qualities. Done. Then, after this, then you go to the Vajramoon practice. Vajramoon practice, okay, if you have just 20 minutes, you don't have time for the breathing meditation, stop it, don't do it. Switch directly, go to the renunciation. For the renunciation, no page, just but you can read that. You can read it, right? So it is detailed, explained. I'm just saying if you have 20 minutes, what is written there, if you want to do it, it will take like 1 hour, right? 20 minutes. After this, then what you do is you go for the renunciation. For the renunciation, recite the one stanza, the 4 seals. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are suffering nature. Everything is nature, empty, and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is nirvana. Just read this. As we read this, reflect on the meanings, because now you are compromising so many things. So therefore, at least reflect. Make sure that the benefit is there, not just reading. Benefit there. When the benefit happens is that only when your mind flows in the meaning, right? So therefore, let the meanings be reflected in the mind. The 4 seals, and then you switch to the Bodhicitta. For the Bodhicitta, if you have time, then you can quickly enumerate the 9 steps. Right? No need to go through the details. Just say, okay. By the way, what are the 9 steps on the fingertips? Okay, let us say, right? Okay, let's say you had meditation. Okay, equalizing self and others. Reflection on the demerits of cherishing oneself. Reflection on the benefits of cherishing others. Taking the suffering of others with emphasis on compassion. Giving happiness to others with emphasis on loving kindness. Then actual exchange of self and others. Special recollection of kindness to others. Altruism. Bodhicitta. Right? Just enumerate these steps. Right? The moment you enumerate these steps, because we did the steps in great detail in the class, automatically your mind is activated, not so strongly, but activated. Then at the end, you, with folded hands, you make the commitment, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Say it 3 times. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Then change it to the moon. Change the moon. Then you go to the wisdom of maintenance. Okay, now how to practice wisdom of maintenance in a very brief way, right? I'm going to share this with you. 4 points to keep in mind. to practice wisdom of emptiness very quickly. 4 points to keep in mind. You one, the self, I. Point 1, self. Self, I. 1. Point 2. First, note down the points. Point 1, the self. Point 2, the six elements. Point 3, the 2 questions. Point 1, the self. Point 2, the 6 elements. Point 3, the 2 questions. And then point 4, in general practice. In this practice, no need to point 4. In other practices meaning when you are out, when you're just waiting for a train, or when you're in a car, right? When you're in a car, you are meditating emptiness, or you are in a public area where you have to wait like this, then you want to meditate emptiness. So then you can go for the 4, 3 plus 1. The 1 is to see things like illusion. Okay, let's say the first one is self. Number 2 is the 6 elements. Number 3 is the 2 questions. Number 4, illusion-like. Illusion-like functionality. Illusion-like functionality. Okay, in this meditation, Vajramoon, you do only the first 3. Say, first you think of the self, very quickly. Think of the self, I. This I, very solid. And then you go into the ultimate analysis. You see the 6 constituents, element earth. You say, you don't just say 6 elements. You say element earth. You think of this solid part. Element water, the blood. Element of fire, air, space, consciousness. Okay, stay there. Then point number 3. What's point number 3? 2 questions. Okay, what are we seeing? 2 questions. What are the 2 questions? What are the 2 questions?
What am I seeing?
What am I seeing? First question. What is number 2? Where's the self? Where's the self? If you do the meditation with the emptiness of the self, then you ask, where's the self? If you do meditation on the flower, what are you seeing? I'm seeing the atoms. Where's the flower? Second question, right? 2 questions. Okay. What am I seeing? I'm seeing the 6 elements. Where is this person? He disappears. She disappears. She is empty. Stay in this experience. Okay. So this experience of the emptiness, we change into Vajra. Vajra. And then, out of compassion, multiply this innumerable times, and then quickly share this one with the mother or father or all the family members, with all sentient beings. Share it quickly, and then say this one stanza. I take refuge in 3 jewels. I confess negativities individually. I just versus all the beings. I hold the present Buddha in my heart. Say this stanza, and then say this stanza. Okay, with this, then all the Bodhisattvas, you receive the Bodhisattva vow, and imagine the Vajramoon from Bodhisattva. They're so happy they send for the Vajramoons towards you, all the demon sentient beings. They're blessing your Vajramoon, blessing the Vajramoon of all the demon sentient beings. And then end with a dedication prayer. And with the dedication prayer. Okay, and with any one dedication prayer, 1 stanza, 2 stanzas, 3 stanzas, up to you, right? And pick up one of the very powerful stanzas. In my case, say this stanza, I make sure that it is what I always say. Stanza, page 21. Page 21, which is from my 2 collections. Vast is the space that I've amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time. May I become Buddha, chief leading Buddha for the benefit for all those whose minds, plan to be ignorance. This stanza to me is very powerful, so I say this stanza. So you can pick up any stanza which is very powerful, right? Okay, and then there is one stanza. This would be very helpful. Okay, page 31. Page 31, the stanza 14, which is a part of the the foundation of all good qualities. This is a very comprehensive prayer, comprehensive dedication prayer. Page 31, stanza 14.